It's an undercover cop with a strange accent versus a rural meth dealer named Gator. Let the battle of who can talk more funny commence! John Airy here with PhotonCityNews.com, talking today about Jason Statham's latest action flick, Homefront. It's a film that I had an okay time watching, but as soon as I left the theater, I found myself picking it apart. The story follows an undercover officer who decides to go on the down low after he busts a big meth dealer. He moves himself and his young daughter to rural Louisiana, but a meth dealer played by James Franco realizes something isn't right about the new stranger in town.
Pissed off some of the locals.
Look, I don't want any more problems.
Okay. Anything else you're thinking hard about? Because I can smell the wood burning.
Things I liked about the film. James Franco makes a great foil to Jason Statham.
Yeah, we've never been properly introduced, you and me.
Well, I won't ask your name. I personally believe a reputation's the most important thing.
He was like a redneck wannabe meth-dealing Lex Luthor to Statham's Southern Superman. I only wish they had pushed the character further, making him a bit more over the top. That goes for almost all the characters. Sylvester Stallone penned the script, and it feels like it was written as a late 80s or early 90s popcorn flick.
He is surrounded by people that he's never come across. These are swamp people.
But the direction seems to aim it more towards a super serious contemporary action movie. I wish the filmmakers had just given in to the campiness instead of trying to work around it. The cast is solid across the board, but each of the supporting players, they needed a bit more time to shine. You have some really good performers here, like Frank Grillo, who nicely turns from a nice guy into a terrifying monster in his first scene. After that, he dissolves into a boring, bland bad guy. That seems to happen with almost all the supporting players here. They're given a good introduction, and then the plot just kind of sweeps them away, dissolving anything interesting about their character. Even some of the storylines vanish. Two plot lines in particular, one involving Statham's potential love interest.
I used to talk to her mum for hours. I think she'd like to talk to a woman more often.
I'd be happy to.
And the other involving the town sheriff played by Clancy Brown and his relationship with James Franco's Gator. These storylines, they simply evaporate, like the filmmakers hope the audience will forget about them by the end of the movie. Both of these secondary plot lines, they didn't serve the overall plot all that well, so maybe it's not a bad thing that they vanished, but why even bring them up if they're just gonna get ditched midway through the film? Something else that bothered me about Homefront, the action, it's just very inconsistent. I like the early hand-to-hand combat scenes with Statham. But later in the film, the camera work becomes incoherent at times, especially during big gun battles in the dark. Director Gary Fleder seems to rely more and more on the close-up handheld shots as the picture goes on. By the end of the movie, the action scenes become, well, they just become really hard to make out. It's shot at night in this foresty kind of setting with Grillo wearing all black. By the end of the fight, you get the general idea of what happened, but all the details, they're lost in the shaky cam. Also, I kept waiting for the plot to surprise me. It stays within the lines, playing out just as you would expect. Don't worry if you have to get up and use the bathroom during the movie. By the time you make it back into the theater, you'll quickly figure out what you missed. And my final complaint with this film, and it's sort of a silly one. With Statham as an undercover drug agent, and considering he's on the movie poster wearing an American flag jean jacket, what's up with his accent?
When I get home, I am gonna tell my girl a bedtime story. Here's how it ends.
I think it might have been explained during the opening credits. There's a montage sequence of files and pictures of bad guys and Statham as an undercover agent. And I remember there's like a 3-second shot of a file that said Interpol on it, but it happened so fast I didn't get a chance to process it. It's just strange. No one in the film ever asks why he speaks like a footballer from England. It's a strange casting choice, to say the least. I'm not bashing his performance, as he played a concerned father who knows how to kick ass just fine. I just kept waiting for some kind of decent explanation. It was like an elephant in the room that no one wanted to talk about.
See, that's my house. Anyone who comes around again will find me standing in it.
Homefront is the kind of film that tries to ride the line between a contemporary, serious action movie and a late 80s blow stuff up real good tough guy flick. The characters, the storyline, and the performers simply lend themselves to more of the latter, making you feel like this was a missed opportunity by the filmmakers to make something much more fun and interesting. I mean, if you can't at least have a little bit of fun with James Franco playing a Louisiana meth dealer named Gator, what are we doing here, people?
I don't want any more problems.
Tell your little girl she's got nothing to worry about with such a tough daddy around.
But those are just my thoughts on Homefront. I'd love to hear yours. You can leave your comments below and keep checking in with PhotonCityNews.com for more news and reviews, and be sure to hit us up on Twitter and Facebook. I'm John Airy.